Welcome back, everyone. He plays the guitar. That's what we both play the guitar, don't we?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
We're going to do one of these doing that.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Looks like we're going to have a very vibrant political season coming up in the 21st Congressional District. Probably a lot of people in the district sense the mood of the nation, would like to contribute in one way or another. Well, my guest is Patrick Nelson, who is running for the Democratic position on the ticket. We had Patrick in when you announced.
Yep.
And I remember being very impressed with your background and just your overall enthusiasm and drive for wanting to do this. So we invited you back and kind of give us an update. First, how have you been?
Busy. Been working really hard. We put a lot of hours in, put a lot of miles in the car.
How's the car holding up?
Pretty well. We got the 10,000 mile oil change with a special oil filter.
Great.
To try and keep that thing in shape. We got a new set of tires, which we're rapidly wearing through as we drive through this 15,000 square mile district and try and meet as many people as we can.
How's it been going?
It's been going well. We've done a number of town hall meetings, some with the other candidates, some on our own. Again, going around and talking with folks, understanding what their concerns are, because it's my job in Congress to be a conduit for the wisdom and the concerns of the district and to bring that to Washington, D.C. So in order for me to do that job, I have to be in touch with that.
Yeah, I've got it. I remember asking you about your background. Very interesting background. Went to RPI, didn't you?
Yes.
What do you have a degree in?
Biochemistry and biophysics.
Well, that, of course, to someone like me, outside of the fact it sounds like it's Greek, to guys like me, media people, that is.
Well, some of it is Greek.
It takes a lot. Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. It takes a certain amount of discipline. It takes a certain amount of just conviction, passion for wanting to understand and know facts and whatever. How do you find that that's beneficial weaving into what can be a fairly chaotic category, the category of politics, and trying to understand the needs of the people?
Well, the reason I'm running for office and the reason I got involved in politics is I'd like to see us make decisions about our laws based upon evidence and a rational approach to things, rather than making it based upon interest groups, based upon lobbyists, and sadly to say, most of our laws are made based upon who can write the biggest campaign checks.
Yes, right.
And that leads to a government that's not only dissociated from the people that it's supposed to work for, but in a lot of ways is dissociated from reality itself.
Yes, true. You mentioned town halls. I always find that to be a particularly effective forum. People will show up at a town hall to find out who you are, who the candidates are, but also it's an opportunity for them to be heard. What are they talking about?
I mean, it's any number of issues that are affecting the North Country. The need for health care. We've got 50,000 people in the 21st Congressional District right now that have no health insurance. We've got folks who are underinsured with high deductibles and high co-payments. We're getting hit really hard by the opioid epidemic, which is a health care issue and not a law enforcement issue. We need jobs. We need career-sustaining jobs, family-sustaining jobs in the North Country so that folks in my generation can afford to stay and live here and grow our own lives.
Yeah, I hear you. Gun violence. We've been, of course, concentrating a lot on that recently because of the recent tragedy in Florida. You keep wondering what event in this country is going to tip the scale on addressing gun violence. What are your thoughts about that?
I mean, it's... Thinking about it from a political perspective, this is an issue that's tough to run an election on as a Democrat in the North Country. But I think that makes it even more important for us to take a position of leadership, because if we're going to solve this problem, we are going to need buy-in from everybody. People who own guns, people who are supporters of the Second Amendment, people that are in favor of gun control who I don't think are necessarily opposed to the Second Amendment. But we've got to put away our partisan positions, come together, see what we can agree on, and pass that into law. Like, it's time for us to do something, and we get so caught up in our disagreements, and both parties like to use this as a fundraising issue with their bases, and then nothing ever really gets done, and we get caught up in the fights over the disagreements, and we talk past each other, because there's areas in which we agree, Jesse. The NRA wants to get rid of bump stocks. Let's get it done.
Yes,
the NRA wants to fix the background check system so that all states are reporting into it. Let's get that done. I was raised in the Presbyterian Church, and we use what's called a consent agenda at the beginning of every meeting, which is basically everything that would be motion, second, all in favor, and just get done. We put it in one agenda, and we pass it at once so that we can move on to the more critical business. Let's do that with gun control. Let's do that with gun violence. Let's put everything down, whether it's expanded background checks, getting rid of the bump stocks. I'm talking to a lot of gun owners in the 21st Congressional District that think the assault weapons ban needs to come back. Let's talk about getting rid of the Dickey Amendment so that the CDC can study gun violence. There's a number of other issues. Let's talk about universal mental health care. I don't think that, certainly if you're getting treatment for mental health, you're no more likely to be a violent actor. You're actually more likely to be a victim.
That's true.
But if folks want to talk about mental health care, let's talk about mental health care, because we do need to address the problem of people getting access to mental health care and the stigma around mental health care. So let's put those things on a consent agenda. Let's figure out what's non-controversial, and let's get it passed into law. And then we can come back and have a real spirited debate on the things that we disagree with. We should do those things, but let's not hold up the things we already agree on with the things that we don't agree on.
Well, you know what? I just want to second what you're saying, that there's always two ways to approach an issue. You can approach the issue by where you disagree, in which case that's a hard road to find your way to the middle. Or, as you're suggesting, you find the aspects of the topic that you agree on, fine-tune that, get an agreement on that. Everybody feels they gave a little, they won a little, and then you move on to the more challenging aspects of that topic. I think that's very well said. When is the primary, Pat?
Primary is going to be June 26th. It's a Tuesday, the last Tuesday in June, I believe.
So you're going to get new shoes and
Oh, well, I'm not going door to door in these.
Oh, okay.
We're going to get some sneakers. We'll break out the Converse again, and we'll start rounding up the voters.
Well, bootstrapping, of course, is the essence of true democracy. When they always say you get out in the field. So you'll be out in the field a lot between now and then throughout this very vast district.
I'm a former field director.
Okay.
So I'm used to the field side of campaigns, the nuts and bolts, grassroots of campaigning, knocking on doors, making phone calls, talking to voters face to face. I've knocked on thousands upon thousands of doors in this district over the past 4 years, and I can't wait to get back out there and start doing it again when we start petitioning on March 6th. We're aiming to get 3,000 signatures to ensure that we get on the ballot, and we start moving the process forward, and the weather will start turning nicer too, so that we can be outside more.
Yeah. Well, the best of luck to you. I always enjoy talking to the candidates, and I can tell you firsthand, after talking to Patrick a number of times, that you really do have the passion for this. You got the energy for it, the enthusiasm for it. The best of luck to you. One final question: Buddy Guy or Eric Clapton?
Oh,
all right.
I can have them both. Actually, in the Crossroads Festival, they used to play together. They're both very good.
You're very
and I've learned from both of them.
It was great to see you, Patrick. Best of luck to you. Make sure you check in with us again.
Thank you so much,
okay?
Jesse.
Good. To see this interview again, you can head to our website, looktvonline.com.